Everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope everyone is doing extremely fine. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And in today's video, we will be looking into how to Dockerize a Node.js application. So before starting, let me answer two important questions: why to use Docker and what is Docker? So let's take example of how to install a software. This will make it clear to understand why to use Docker. This is the flow of installing a software, and suppose you want to install something. You download the installer first, you run the installer, and then inevitable error comes which you try to look up on Google. You troubleshoot the issue, you rerun the installer, and tada, you get another error. So this is at the core which Docker tries to solve. So not just on our local systems but also on web servers or any cloud platform, Docker can help us to download our dependencies and run our program. So I will be showing you a quick little demo of installing Redis via command line and then via Docker. So Redis is very popular in memory data store which can be used as a database too. So let's copy the wget package extraction command here and open the item. We'll paste it and hit enter. Sure, so this error came, and as you can see, this is little bit predictable as wget command is not installed on my system. I can try to look upon internet and install this wget command and then rerun this Redis installation command. But guys, see, this is only the whole point, right? We are stuck in this loop, in this cycle, that we are troubleshooting the issue and rerunning the installer. So that's the whole point which Docker is going to fix. And now we can see how Docker can help us here, and with help of just a single command, how Docker can make Redis up and running. How easy it is to run Redis if you are making use of Docker. So let's hop on to iterm again, and let's do docker run dash it redis, and you can see Redis is up and running, server is initialized. So you saw right how Docker helped us to run Redis in seconds, and this was the issue which Docker solved so fast. So now we will look into the other question. Yeah, so let's answer our next question, which is what is Docker. So it is really tricky to answer this question, but always when someone mention in blog post or articles or wherever it might be that they have used Docker in their project, so they are basically mentioning the tools like Docker client, or they can be mentioning tools like Docker server or Docker hub. So these are all the projects, all the tools combined together which forms a Docker ecosystem. Docker is a platform or ecosystem around creating and running of something called container. So your immediate question will be, okay, what is container now? So let's see what is a container. A moment back when we ran that command docker run redis, series of actions happened behind the scenes. So something called docker cli reached to something called docker hub and pulled down a very specific image. So our image is a single file which contains all the dependencies and all the configs required to run a very specific program. In our case, which is Redis, so we pulled down the image of Redis and we created a container out of it. So basically our image is a very single file which is stored on your hard drive, and you can create containers out of it. So basically container represent a running program. So what we just did was we pulled down the image of docker, and then we created a container from that redis image, and redis was up and running. So I will show you the project structure which I have set up. So for this we are using express, and for database we are using postgresql. So let's hop on to server.js, where we are initializing our server. So if you see here, we are loading all the main app configurations which are present in app.js file. So first of all, we connect to our database. So we are using SQLize ORM to connect to our PostgreSQL database, and then we are using bunch of popular middleware. So I have mentioned all the middlewares here, and then I have written some custom middlewares, one for not found and other for error handling. Then coming to the routes part, we have mounted a router at our API endpoint. So if we go to the API directory and open the index.js, so you will see that we have two routers, one for users and one for nodes. So if you look into the routes folder in the users.js, we have bunch of routes here. So any incoming request for users will land in this users.js file, and for nodes it is the same. Then coming back to our database part, we have defined all our models here. So we have two tables, one for users and one for nodes. So we have defined our table here. One good thing of ORM is that you can write your table and it generates the SQL query for you, and it creates the table for you. So it is a really easy thing. You can get up and going with the ORM. Then here we have all our database properties to connect to our database. So you can see we have defined all the we have defined the dialect, and we have turned the logging to console.log. Then coming to config directory, here we basically put all the configurations which are required to run our application server. So here we have defined the DB properties, the port number on which the server will be running. Then let's come to running this Node.js server. So let me go to item and I will say npm run dev. It will start the development server for me. So as you can see, my server is running on localhost 1234. So let's test this API. So I will open up Insomnia, which is API testing tool. So let's hit endpoint to add a user. So if you see, I have mentioned the route here, which is /API/user, and it is a get method. So let's send a request, and as you can see, a user has been created, and the username, email, password is this. So let's let's see in our database if the row was added or not. So let me go to PostgreSQL, and let me open the database first. So the name of the DB is Sula. So let's connect to it, and I will say select star from users table. So if you can see here, our user is created Albert, this one, and our backend is working properly. API call worked. Now let's see how to dockerize this Node.js server. So we will look into that. So now we will be creating our Docker file and writing all the steps which are required to run our application. So let's create a Docker file. I will name it Docker file. So now we will be writing all the steps inside here which are required to run our application. So first thing first, we need a Node.js base image so that we can run our server. So let's hop on to dockerhub.com, and here I have opened the Node.js base image page. So it has 1 billion plus downloads, as you can see, and here all the images which are currently supported are defined. So we will be making use of Node.js slim image. So slim is a tag which represent a lightweight image. So it comes with very few utilities, so its size is less. So we will define the base image here as from node with the tag as slim. Then we will basically define our work directory. So our work directory is the path where our code lives inside the container. So it is usr, user source /app. So it is a pretty standard path. You can provide anything else if you want. Then the third thing is we will copy our package.json and package dash log.json to our container. So we will write copy package start.json to destination will be dot to our container. So it will copy both of these files which contain our library code. So the thing is basically our application code changes more often than our library code, right? So whenever you like add a new route, suppose you have added a new route, or suppose you added a logger to debug things, so you don't want every time to install your dependencies because they haven't changed. So to do this cache busting thing, we basically copy package JSON first, and then we copy our rest of the code. So we will now we will run npm install so that all our dependencies will be downloaded. So all the dependencies are present in this node modules folder. Then we will basically copy our rest of the code, which is the business logic, or like the application code you can say. So we will do copy with dot dot, so copy all the files from my local machine to the container. Then what we will do is we will expose the port. So our port where our server runs is 1234. So we will expose that port so that we can serve the request inside from the container. Now we will finally run our server. So we will say cmd npm run start, so it will spin up the node.js server. So now we will be testing our Docker image. So let's go to terminal, and we will be running this command docker build, and we will tag our image. So I always give the name of image same as the project name, so we'll name it Sequelize, and we'll give dot. So our Docker file lives here. So our docker CLI is sending this information, and it will pull down the node.js base image and will perform all the steps which we have written in our docker file. So as you can see, we have total of 7 steps here. So it's currently downloading the node.js slim image. So let's wait for a second. So we got this error on step 3. It's saying when using copy, we need to end the path with the slash, and it must be a directory. So as you can see on step 3, we have not put a slash at the end. Now let's try to rebuild our image. So we'll run the same command again, and let's see what happens now. Now as you can see, our image building process is completed and it's success. So you can see successfully tagged Sequelize playground latest. So if we do docker images, so here you can see I have multiple of images, but if you see here, our image is created and the image ID is this. So now let's try to run our image. So I will say docker run, and then our image name is Sequelize playground. So currently okay, so missing script start. So it is saying it cannot find npm run start. So let's go to our package.json, and let's add the script here. Start with the node source server.js. And now we need to basically we made a change in our package.json, so we need to rebuild our image. So I will say docker build t, it will basically rebuild the image. Our image is rebuilt now, and now let's again run our image. So we will say docker run Sequelize playground, but it will throw an error because we haven't set up our PostgreSQL database. So we will make another container for our Postgres database. So now we will be looking into how to set up our PostgreSQL database too. So for this we will be making use of a utility called Docker Compose. So Docker Compose makes it really easy to manage multiple containers, and we can list down all our services in a file called docker compose.yaml file. So this file looks like this, and Docker Compose will take care of each and every service. It will spin up each service so that our server can run. So let's see how to do that. So I have created a GitHub gist for basic PostgreSQL setup with Docker Compose. So I will explain you each thing what is happening here. So let's first copy this and create a Docker Compose file. So I will create a Docker Compose file next to my Docker file. So I will name it Docker Compose dot YAML, and let's paste it. So let's see what is happening here. So we have first of all we have defined the version number, which is 3.7 here, and then we have this services tag. Inside this, all of our services go down. So as you can see, we have two services. One is Postgres service and other is your service, right? So Postgres service is is the service which is responsible to spin up the Postgres server. So as you can see, the base image of this is Postgres. So it is it is the official image of Postgres present in the Docker hub, you can see. And then we have this environment. So environment means all the environment variables. So this is the username of our database and this is the password of the database. Then this is the port mapping. So port mapping means like inside the container my server my DB server is running on port 5432. So from the container to my local machine, it is mapped at 5432. So I can communicate to port number 5432 to connect to my database. Then this is a volume tag. So volume means where does all your data lives inside the container. So as you can see, the path is var lib PostgreSQL data. So here all of our data will be present. Then this is your service, and your service this is the name of the service. So you can give any name which you want. I can change it to our service. So our one is server. So let's write server here, and the build context is the Docker file which we have created. So as you can see, Docker file is right here, and we have provided a dot to pick that Docker file as the base image and build this, right? Then we have all the environment variables, DB schema, DB user, as you can see. And then the important thing, it depends upon our Postgres service. So as you can see, I have written this depends upon Postgres service. So what Docker Compose will try to do is whenever whenever I will run my server with Docker Compose, so it will first start this Postgres server so that I can my server can run properly, right? Because if my DB server will not run, then I will get the error of DB is not being connected. Then here is the same port mapping. So port mapping is between the host and container, right? So my host machine it is 1234, and inside the container it will be running on port 1234, right? Now I need to make a few changes here. So as you can see, we have these four environment variables present here, but we don't need them because I have separately created a .env file where I am putting all my environment variables. So I don't want to keep them at two different places. So I will remove these from here, and it will be present in my .env files. I have written all these environment variables. So I have changed the name of DB user password to the one which are of container, not of my local machine. So now let's try to run our Docker Compose file. So we will go to terminal and say Docker Compose up. So it will try to spin up each of the services which we have mentioned in our Docker Compose file. So let's see if it's working or not. So we will say Docker Compose up, and as you can see, it has started the Postgres server first and then my server Node.js server. So now as you can see, the API is running on port HTTP localhost 1234. So it is running inside Docker container, and we have successfully done it. I need to change few things here. First of all, I need to change the name of the schema, so I want to name it Sula. So for this we need to create the database inside the container. So let's see how to do that. So if you see here, we have created two containers here. One is Postgres and one for server. So we will use this container. We will get inside this container and create a schema named Sula. So let's say docker execute it, then the name of my container, and then shell. So we are currently inside the container, and we can issue commands here which will run on the OS of our PostgreSQL container. So we'll say connect to Postgres with the username of this, as the username is Postgres2. So it says okay. So let's see what is okay. So we had a spelling mistake now. Yeah, so we are inside our Postgres database, which is running inside the container. So I will say create DB and name it Sula. So let's do it. So the DB is created now. So now what we will do is our DB is created, and we need to make one slight change here. We need to uncomment this line so that all the tables, users and node table, can be created inside the DB. So now, as we have done two changes, so we need to rebuild our Docker Compose file. So let us exit from this and again run Docker Compose up with the flag of -- build, and it is building our server currently. As you can see, we have made two changes, so it will build our server and start both of the services. So now, as you can see, Docker Compose has completed all the process, and it has started both of my services. So let's test our server by hitting the users endpoint. So I will open up Insomnia, and here I have mentioned the route for the users endpoint, and it is a get method. So I will send the request, and as you can see, my response has this Melvin, and this user has been returned. So let's check in our database whether this user this user is being inserted in the DB or not. So I will first get the ID of my Postgres container. So I will say docker execute -it, okay, and shell. So I'm inside my Postgres container. Now I will say psql -u Postgres, and I need to connect to my database, which is Sula. So let's connect to it, and we are connected. And now we will say select star from users table. So let's see that, and as you can see, yeah, this user has been created, and our API is working perfectly fine. So that's it for this video, guys, and I hope you really enjoyed it and learned how to Dockerize our Node.js application. If you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. I would be happy to look into it. Thank you.